Final Fantasy VII Remake is a perfect example of how to completely remake a video game. With its updated retelling of the original that adds details to the story without changing things too much, and its smooth action combat, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is great for super fans of the original and new players alike. The PS5's hardware allows for strikingly detailed environments and animations, making Midgar even more immersive. Plus, the fully voiced story gives an emotional edge over the original game. There's tons of content to explore in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the fun, fast-paced combat makes replaying the game a joy every time. It should come as no surprise to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth here. A sequel to 2020's remake of the original Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth improves upon Remake in a number of ways, transitioning to an open-world exploration structure that is both familiar and wholly unique. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is filled to the brim with fun, interesting content, mini-games making up no small part of its side content. It's a sequel in the best sense of the word, improving on both the first remake and the original game, while presenting something new and exciting to play. Devil May Cry and action combat are almost synonymous at this point. This classic arcade-style action RPG puts you in the shoes of three characters, Dante, Nero, and the mysterious V, as they attempt to stop the Demon King Urizen from rising to power. DMC5's combo-centric action combat is second to none, allowing you to flex your creativity as you achieve your stylish combos. This deep combat system makes the game endlessly replayable, and the enemy and boss variety paired with a number of increased difficulty options definitely encourage replaying the story a few times, even if only to seek out and conquer the secret stages. Alternatively, you can test your skills in the Bloody Palace, taking on waves of enemies as you climb to the top. Returnal is a third-person roguelike shooter that has you take the role of Celine as she navigates mysterious and harrowing planets teeming with alien and supernatural lifeforms. Returnal will not hold your hand as you explore and make sense of your surroundings, forcing you to quickly adapt to any situation. Returnal's bullet hell action and smooth gunplay create a unique twist in the roguelike genre. When paired with its gradually unfolding story, Returnal is a truly unique experience, and one definitely worth playing on the PS5. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a quintessential Ratchet & Clank game. As you explore the game's various planets, hopping through dimensions to save reality, you'll be able to wield an arsenal of powerful and sometimes silly weapons of mass destruction. Graphically, Rift Apart is one of the best-looking games on the PS5, utilizing the console's hardware to the best of its ability. The worlds are beautifully designed and stunning to look at, all wrapped in a fast-paced, smooth as butter gameplay loop that will keep you coming back for more. Demon's Souls for the PS5 is a complete remake of the original 2009 game with updated graphics, design, and gameplay. While the original Demon's Souls was a spiritual successor to From Software's King's Field, Demon's Souls essentially kickstarted the Dark Souls series. Without Demon's Souls, we never would have gotten Elden Ring. If you're familiar with the general gameplay and mechanics of Dark Souls games, Demon's Souls is pretty similar. Expect a challenging but mostly fair game that punishes your mistakes but spurns you forward with the ever-looming satisfaction of defeating a boss you've died so many times to. If you're a Soulsborne fan and you haven't played Demon's Souls yet, you're in for a treat. Swinging around New York and fighting crime as Spider-Man will never not be fun. Any of the three Marvel Spider-Man games on PS5 are worth playing, even if you're not the biggest Marvel or Spider-Man fan. These games have compelling stories and characters, endlessly fun gameplay, and tons of Easter eggs to seek out, especially for invested fans of the Marvel franchise. While they are best played in release order, there's no bad place to start with Marvel's Spider-Man. Each game has its merits, and none of them are overly long or grindy, offering a short but very sweet time. That said, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 definitely offers the most comprehensive experience of the trio, with more to explore and the ability to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. The 2018 God of War is often considered one of the greatest video games, and its sequel, God of War Ragnarok, improves on it in almost every way. The second game in the Norse era of the God of War games, Ragnarok centers around the titular Ragnarok event, which essentially spells the end of the world. Kratos and his son Atreus must once again embark on an adventure through Midgard to prevent Ragnarok. God of War's characteristic action combat is working overtime in this game, with different weapons to unlock and upgrade and tons of different options for killing enemies. Plus, the Valhalla roguelike mode offers even more to do once you've beaten the story. Rise of the Ronin is an ARPG set during the Boshin War, near the end of the Edo period in Japan. The game takes place in Yokohama, Ado, and Kyoto as you follow the Blade Twins on their quest to overthrow the shogunate. Using weapons commonly found during this time period like katanas, longbows, and various firearms, you and your twin will explore the historic ports of Yokohama and the scenic Japanese countryside as you fight the Tokugawa shogunate. Rise of the Ronin offers an incredibly smooth gameplay experience, as well as an interesting setting that was pivotal in the history of Japan. Fu is a third-person action brawler inspired by kung fu movies with just a hint of roguelike elements. On your quest for revenge, you'll need to master different fighting techniques, using every tool to your advantage to emerge victorious. Rather than leveling up your skills or increasing your stats, Sifu's progression is almost entirely skill-based. At first you will die a lot, but practice will lead to perfection, and eventually you will succeed. This progression system rewards diligent training and will truly make you feel like a master of your art. Diablo 4 drops you into the brutal world of Sanctuary, a realm plagued by an eternal war between angels and demons. After choosing one of 5 classes, you'll have to fight your way through endless hordes of monsters, upgrading your skills and equipment as you go. Diablo 4 is constantly being improved with each new season, adding tons of new mechanics, content, and balancing to the game. As is par for the course for this franchise, Diablo 4's action combat is extremely satisfying, and when you get a new legendary or unique item for your build, you can instantly feel the increase in power. Final Fantasy XVI is the natural progression for the series, as Final Fantasy shifts into immersive storytelling through cinematic cutscenes and action-packed gameplay. While some fans still lament the transition away from turn-based combat, between this and Final Fantasy VII Remake, action RPG fans are eating good. Final Fantasy XVI is more about its world and setting than anything else. Powerful kingdoms rule over the Mother Crystals, massive crystalline formations that supply aether to the world and enable certain individuals to use magic. As you unravel the mysteries surrounding these Mother Crystals and the powers that control them, you'll have to contend with threats that could redefine humanity's future. Horizon Forbidden West is a sequel to the original 2017 game, featuring a more expansive world, new machines to fight, and an engaging new story to uncover. Forbidden West has some of the most beautiful graphics on the PS5, with its incredibly detailed and vivid environments and stunning new monster designs. If you're a fan of the first game, Forbidden West is a must-play. Everything you loved about the original is here, tons of things to explore, fun gameplay, and a gripping story. There's just more of it. Playing on the PS5 is also one of the best ways to experience this game, with the additions of details like adaptive triggers and haptic feedback making you even more immersed in the world of Horizon. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is an essential action RPG for Star Wars fans. Even players only tangentially familiar with Star Wars will have a lot to appreciate in this game. From its fast, satisfying combat to its rewarding exploration and story, Fallen Order ticks all the boxes. You take the role of Cal Kestis, a Jedi Padawan in hiding during the Empire's Inquisition shortly after the events of Revenge of the Sith. While on the run from the Inquisition, you'll have to band together with other survivors and attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order. In Stellar Blade, you play as Eve on a mission to retake Earth from the mysterious creatures called Naytiba. While exploring the ruins of Earth, you'll have to band together with the people of its last remaining city, Axion, in order to survive. Stellar Blade takes a fairly standard approach to the action RPG formula, but its top-notch visuals and fast-paced combat make the sense that you've seen this all before easier to ignore. If you love slashing through enemies, upgrading and training your abilities, and collecting items in hidden spots, Stellar Blade is definitely worth playing. Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG set in the expansive world of Granblue Fantasy. Following the captain of the Grand Cipher, you'll explore islands in the sky on a quest to find your lost friend. Relink offers a ton of different playable characters, each with their own playstyle, weapons to grind for, and skill trees to upgrade. Overall, Relink is an extremely satisfying game to play. The combat is smooth and engaging, the story and characters are charming, and the endgame grinds are worthwhile and fun. If you're looking for an ARPG to play for hundreds of hours after the credits roll, Granblue Fantasy Relink is definitely one of the best options on the PS5. Dragon's Dogma 2 is an open-world action RPG where you play as the Arisen, a chosen hero whose heart has been stolen by a dragon. On a quest to not only kill the dragon and reclaim your heart, but pacify the civil unrest sweeping the nation, you will fight alongside pawns, mysterious beings from other worlds that serve only you. Dragon's Dogma's unique asynchronous multiplayer system allows you to summon other players' pawns to help you. They'll offer advice, guide you to your objective, and help you take down strong enemies. Similarly, your own main pawn will have their own journeys in other players' worlds, gaining knowledge that will further assist you. This, paired with its incredibly satisfying combat system, makes Dragon's Dogma 2 a truly one-of-a-kind experience. Cyberpunk 2077 is a massive game. Night City, the game's primary setting, is a fully developed world with so many characters, locations, and details that you could spend hours just wandering its streets. However, once you get into the combat and character building in Cyberpunk, you'll quickly understand what makes this game so great. With the 2.0 update, the skill and progression system was completely overhauled. You can build your character in a variety of ways, like a melee katana build, a knife juggling precision build, a net running hacker build, and so many more. Cyberpunk's outstanding storytelling and dialogue also can't be understated. Ghost of Tsushima is unparalleled in its setting and immersion, not to mention its smooth, skill-based gameplay and great story. In Ghost of Tsushima, you play as Jin Sakai, a samurai who has lost everything in the Mongol invasion of Tsushima Island. Using every tool at your disposal, your quest is to nearly single-handedly take back the island from the Mongols. The game's historical and atmospheric setting provides the perfect place to hone your samurai skills as you explore Tsushima Island. Plus, there is an entirely separate multiplayer mode with tons of additional content. In the multiplayer Legends mode, you can team up with up to 3 other players and take down waves of Mongols and supernatural enemies alike using different abilities.